They had the farm, traumatized employees, and 4,500 cows and heifers and 4 children to take care of. They had to go home and keep the home fires burning. But God had led Ange to the farm that morning with her 4 little ones and her friend Lindsay with her 2 little ones. And she jumped into action. Lindsay took the 6 kids. Ange put on her guardian angel wings. And took care of Casey and me. That's my angel Ange. And God is so in charge. So John Ferry came and sat with me in the waiting room. And the surgeon finally came. Then he told me very matter-of-factly, well, Greg didn't die. And he probably won't, but don't take anything for granted. His pelvis had been crushed. So if your pelvis sits like this, his pelvis was like this. All of your major veins and arteries that connect your upper, lower, and lower body run through your pelvis, like hundreds of strands of spaghetti. His pelvis, both of his hip joints, 16 ribs in 22 places, his collarbone, his shoulder blade, and several of his vertebrae were broken. Fixing his pelvis was first, so he didn't bleed to death. And everything else had to wait. And they shared that Greg was the most seriously injured person in all of central New York at that moment. And the surgeon, I just felt like I was underwater. And the surgeon's words washed over me. But John Ferry was a doctor, is a doctor, and he understood every medical term. And afterwards he interpreted that message for me. And then he prayed with me. And all day I had cried and prayed and texted and called and asked people to pray for Greg. He had survived so far. And my mind had stayed in 2 places, on Greg and on God. And that never happens. So that girl who nearly got me fired as Sunday school teacher, Darcy, had packed up our grandson and headed toward us to help before she even knew where to go. She packed a bag for herself and the baby and just headed east on the thruway. She kept in contact with Casey and found us. God had blessed our son with a wonderful woman and our grandchild with a wonderful mother. And our daughter with a wonderful friend and sister-in-law to be. Darcy is a miracle.